Good afternoon, guys and girls, ladies and gents, and all the spectrum of gender and ages. Welcome to another edition of Coffee Break. My name is Nick, your way on the radio, but now with you online for, again, another edition of our Coffee Break. Of course, I am joined by a very beautiful bridesmaid today. Please welcome Shai.
Always the bridesmaid, never the bride.
You look really good today.
Thanks so much, Nick. Of
in a
course,
different
coming from you,
apartment.
mas nakakilig. Yes, hi guys. Welcome to my new crib. It's all empty and whatnot. And if you guys want to contribute furniture, I'm very willing to accept. So, I did move to a new apartment and I'm very excited to talk about it with you guys. But as much as I want to talk more about myself and my apartment, there's actually a very interesting topic that we have to talk about with you guys, especially for those who are craving for love and affection in the midst of the quarantine. Nick, tell us all about it.
That's right. Of course, I'd be very happy to see a tour video, once everything is done. But yes, as you were saying, we are in the second year of the pandemic. I mean, in the lockdown setup, correct? No matter how bad that sounds. But, it is what it is. And we got to cope with the situation. Especially for those couples who, kasi diba, last year we talked about that. Like, is it a good idea to be in a relationship at the time of the pandemic? And if you were able to survive the first year, good for you. It means that you were able to work it out, right? Pero ngayon, limited pa rin ang space. We are still under community quarantine. So let's talk a bit about the essentials of, being in a relationship, pandemic edition, whether or not you are in the same roof. Pero feeling ko magandang pag-usapan yan eh. Diba? Paano pag magkasama kayo? Paano kapag hindi?
Okay. Sige. So are you asking me about the essentials?
Definitely. I know this is going to be theoretical. Diba?
Yes, it is.
You live alone. Yeah, we live alone. Okay, so sige.
Theoretical in the sense for the both of us kasi nga we both live alone, we don't really have partners of our own, ganun. And also theoretical for other people who have intentions or who are looking forward to planning to have a relationship with someone but are having second thoughts because pandemic season 2, right? So for me, the essentials especially for couples who don't live together just yet, for apart.
Let's start there.
I think one of the most important essentials is communication, because that's all you're going to be having whilst in the middle of a pandemic. We will not encourage you guys to see each other because as much as physical touch is important with the relationship, if you're not living together, if you're not in the same roof, and malaman mo sa statistics, ang dami palang COVID cases sa barangay nila, for example, you did not want to bring that to your household, diba? Again, guys, safety first. We have to try our best to flatten the curve because for the record, we have not done that yet, despite chismis that we have. So being apart is very necessary. Unfortunately, no matter how much you love each other, if it's still not safe for the both of you, apart pa rin talaga. So that's why for me, one of the biggest essential is to constantly communicate. Kasi yan na lang meron eh. Walang lambingan, walang non-verbal cues. Nothing like that. Ano titigan sa Zoom?
Video pa. But it's true. Like absence really, sometimes it can make the heart grow fonder.
But here's my question with that statement. Does absence make the heart grow fonder if you've never actually been together to begin with?
Ayun na nga.
Diba?
Correct.
So yeah.
But sige, we're focusing on the living apart muna.
Apart muna, okay. Sige,
and as you said, communication is an essential thing. Right.
How about you?
I have a follow-up question there because I believe that is my first essential also. If we are living apart, it's communication. But the next question is, how often should you communicate?
Alam mo, I talked about this recently I'm not sure if on air or online on my Facebook page or Facebook Lives, but I mentioned about, kasi somebody asked me, like, masyado ba akong clingy kapag gusto ko laging nagme-message yung girlfriend ko sa akin? Tapos naisip ko, there has to be some sort of compromise kasi what if the girlfriend hindi talaga niya love language ang hey, good morning, kumain ka na, kain ka na, ganun, di ba? But you want to receive that kind of love language naman. And that's how you feel assurance. If you do always have that 24/7 text messages, basta gising yung tao, mag-a-update ka. Parang ganun, di ba? So, I think kailangan talaga, depending on how much the person wants to receive and how much willing you are to give. And there has to be that sweet spot of
Correct. Compromise.
Yes, there has to be a compromise. But if you're lucky that you're both so clingy with each other, na nakapin to top lagi messages yung sa isa't isa kasi nga you'll always be messaging each other, then that's fine and dandy. Or if it's also the opposite side of the spectrum, kung hindi naman kayo masyadong ma-chat-chat, and it's not a big deal for the both of you, and you still have that reassurance, then great as well. But for couples who are, ayun nga, yung isa sobrang clingy, sobrang wanting attention, quote unquote, it's not a bad thing, guys, it's not a bad thing. Yun, wanting attention, and then the other one is like, basta good morning at alam mong safe ako, okay na to. May mga ganun tao na doesn't want to be bothered with constantly messaging their partners, diba? So if you truly care for the person and you know that the person's love language is to receive, is yung mga ganung lambing, then I think you have to find that sweet spot kung ano man yun. So to answer your question of how much communication, I hope that answers it somehow.
Yeah, I agree entirely. There has to be a sweet spot, and you can't communicate all the time. The thing is, like, if you do communicate all the time, it only means that you have not much going on, like you're not doing a lot of stuff, right? And that could definitely harm, I guess, your relationship. Parang mauubos din naman kayo even if you're not living under the same roof. If you're constantly communicating like every hour, every minute, parang hindi rin maganda because you won't accomplish anything, right?
Exactly. Pero lucky are the few who happen to be that way, I guess.
Yeah,
kasi
true.
May kilala talaga ako na always talaga sila messaging each other, even if before the pandemic. This is before the pandemic, so they see each other from time to time. But the one thing that's constant with them is their communication. Na sobrang tuloy-tuloy, like every event of their day.
Yeah, I think that's good. Yeah, I think that's good.
They're both
naman.
okay with that.
Right.
Siguro tayong dalawa lang hindi natin tingin.
Ang hindi maganda kasi, like if you are reporting and you're expecting the other person to like report back immediately, diba? Like if you have that kind of, what do you think? What do you say? If you have that expectation, right? And hindi mo sinasabi sa partner mo yon. If you don't communicate that, right? Dinadala mo siya sa loob mo, then it's going to be a problem in the future.
Yes. And that's why I also mentioned in that same Facebook Live, na-mention ko rin na if you see a problem early on pa lang, like let's say jealousy or ganun nga na if you're jealous with someone, with your partner, or for example in this case nga na nasasakal ka na sa ganung situation of the person always wanting communication from you, nip it in the bud as early as possible. Kumbaga, habang hindi pa malaki, habang hindi pa, like, hindi mo kinikim-kim at lumalaki yung issue sa heart and soul mo, sabihin mo na early on pa lang. Kasi if you're gonna keep it inside for quite a while, it's just going to and be a bigger problem in the future. Yeah.
I agree. Absolutely. We have a comment here that says, mas prone sa misunderstanding kapag di nagkikita. This is very debatable.
I agree. Alam mo, Pico mahirap sa amin ni Nick ngayon is we're both on the same page.
Yeah.
and we want to try to understand other people's situation, which might be like sobrang romantic for them yung ganun. Pero sa atin, it's like, alam mo yun?
Pero to be honest, like, I'm sort of 70-30.
Okay.
Medyo, like, I want the space. I like being alone. But at the same time, may pagka-clingy din ako. So if I could be with a person that I love every day, I would. But I also understand that that's how it happens because, based on my experience before, like if you're in the same apartment, if you're living under the same roof, ganyan, mahirap siya. Especially if it's very small, there are no boundaries. Diba? Unlike when you really set dates na magkikita lang kayo, madalas hindi nyo napapansinin yung petty stuff kasi you just want to focus on what's going on right now. We are together, so let's just have fun. But the thing is, again, it's the pandemic, and you either live apart or you either
For a long time.
or you either live together, right?
Nang wala kayong choice because it's
Correct.
pandemic, it's quarantine, di ba? So, on your topic, on what you just mentioned earlier, ito nga may kaibigan nga ako, Nick.
Ayun na naman tayo sa kaibigan.
Sa kaibigan ko, alam mo naman, ang dami kong mga kaibigan. She and her boyfriend lives together. The thing is, this girl, she loves her solo time talaga. She loves being alone. But at the same time, just like what you said, she's also such a clingy person.
Right.
So when they're together, she loves attention. She loves being together. She loves being clingy. Kasi, taking the most of the time, of the chance, diba? Pero pag wala naman daw yung guy, sobrang, without even realizing, sobrang relieving ng distance, ng peace and quiet, she can move around on her own without having to worry. She has her own apartment for the boundary kasi wala yung guy yung time na yun, mga ganun. So, I can imagine yung sinasabi mo nga kanina na clingy ka, but at the same time, you also want your me time. Kailangan eh. Again, siguro that's just us or my friend included. I don't know with other guys, other people, kasi I'm sure for a lot of you who are tuned in right now, who are watching right now, you are 100% okay with your partner being there all the time.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Which is why we have to go to the next part. Diba, ganun na lang natin, batuhan natin. Because if the first part is if you're living apart, right?
Okay, yeah.
If you're living together, for me, the number one essential is, apart from communication, of course, is boundary.
I love that. I love that. Oo, kasi nga naman rin, di ba? You're gonna... Well, what about for couples who have been married for a long time? They're practically being quarantined for like the past 30, 40, 50 years.
Feeling ko there's still boundary. Kaya nga, di ba, napansin mo, ang dami nag-aaway ngayon. Kasi there's work in between right?
Yes, true.
So you have 8 hours apart.
Or more,
right now, if both of you are working, like you're in the same room, you're in the same roof, under the same roof for 24 hours. Kaya nag-aaway kasi parang ngayon wala na-figure out, ganyan pala siya sa work niya. Or something like that.
or hindi ka naman ganyan sa totoong buhay, ba't ang pabebe mo sa boss mo?
Correct. So how
ang plastic mo.
So I want to ask you, like, do you have any idea in your head, like, how do you maintain that kind of boundary if you're under the same roof and you're working now at the time of the pandemic?
Again, this is just theoretical, this is just imaginary, pero I think important na talaga na for the couple to agree that they should have actually kahit non-verbal agreement. Alam mo yung just respecting each other's spaces. Hindi naman kailangan ng, okay, ganito tayo ha. So let's sit down, we have to talk about this. Parang kahit wala namang ganun eh. I think it just developed over, again, we've been at this for like a year plus na, diba?
Okay.
So I think it just really developed over time. People just started to develop their own habits of, I'll be in this space, and do you be on that space, and during this
Let's
time.
Let's not talk for a while.
Oo, ganun. Unless kapag magla-lunch na, sige, tanungin kita anong ulam gusto mong kainin. Mga ganun lang. Yan. And then once work is done, that's the time we can, kamusta work? Siguro parang ganun, oo. Kasi, I can't imagine na every time something happens at work, you're gonna turn to your back at, ito na naman si Nick, tingnan mo, Parang, alam mo yung...
Yeah.
I would imagine that couples would like to reserve that for pillow talk. Parang ganun. Gets mo na...
Yeah.
We'll talk about that later. I'll tell you about my day. Just like... Kasi the thing with the pandemic is we want to try to have a sense of normalcy as much as possible, diba? So even if it's really quite different, we have to move some stuff around. Kasi like ito, we're all at the same house. I mean, rather the couples are in the same household. So in order to have that sense of normalcy, just like before, I'll tell you about my day later on na lang.
Later on. Yeah.
Parang ganon, diba? Something like that, guys. So, what was your thing? Boundaries, diba? Yung essential boundary. Yeah. So, dagdag ko na dun is, try to develop another sense of normalcy thing all throughout your relationship. Just like it was before the pandemic. Kahit hindi naman talaga. But yeah, try.
Right. Yeah, like physical boundaries might be good then, but if you're like, if for example, if your apartment is small, diba, pwede kayong magkaroon siguro ng isang table sa isang end, tas doon siya sa kabilang end. It could help, di ba?
Totoo.
Ang hirap pag magkakakitaan kayo lagi eh. So maybe opposite sides kayo, ganyan. I mean, that can probably work. Again, theoretical.
And also, just to add to what you said, designate niya talaga yung work area nyo para, once again, the sense of normalcy. So you'll know that once you're in that area, work mode ka lang talaga. Because it's so hard when you're sharing a space, you're sharing a house. The house is now a home and an office and a school.
Yeah,
diba? So,
correct.
For the parents who have kids, right? So, para sa akin, you have to have that like sectioning, or something, designation of places. So this place, this little corner here is work mode talaga ako dito. So if I'm here, if I'm in this space, wag mo ko lambing-limbingin ha. Wag kang pakadal-kadal dyan.
Ako, sakit ko yan. Kaya hirap din eh. As much as possible, I don't want the person I love to be here. Kasi, di ba, parang I will smother you with my love.
Lalambingin kita pag na-bored ako.
Oo, wag mo akong i-brush off. Ma-offend ako. Pero, it really is a thing. So, yeah, so that's number 1. Number 2. Okay, let's go to number 2. Do you have a number 2?
Sige, baka ikaw may number 2 ka.
Sige. Especially if you're not together, I believe support is very important.
Okay.
In terms of your partner's mental health and well-being. I think that's important kasi kunwari gusto lang naman niya ng soundboard, you can be that soundboard, diba?
True.
I know you might be stressed, you might have a stressful day also, but find the time to actually ask how he or she is doing, and kung gusto lang niya magkwento just to, let the steam off, go lang. Just be there for the partner. And kung pwede ka magpa-deliver, 'di ba? Pwede ka magpa-deliver ng
may budget.
May budget ka, 'di ba? Magpa-deliver ka minsan ng food. Kahit yung niluto mo, 'di ba? Pa-deliver mo lang dun sa place niya. In a way, 'di ba, you get to touch his mother.
You show your love and support at with the language of food, parang ganun.
Language of food. Yeah. And if you're living together, number 2 also, in terms of that, like with support also, diba? You get to cook for the person. You get to be of service to the person. Diba? Kapag ikaw yung hindi masyadong busy sa work, ikaw na yung magluto, ikaw yung maghugas ng pinggan, ikaw yung those stuff.
Bakit ako? Ay, sorry na. Na-trigger ako dun. Sorry. Theoretically, okay. Hypothetical situations. Yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
Tama naman. Kasi nga, guys, not everyone can do everything at the same time also. So, picking up some slack for your partner, that would be great. And, yeah, supporting each other. Hindi naman rin pwede siya, ikaw lang lagi mag-pick up some slack. But, yeah. Whatever support you could give them, whatever load you could unburden, sorry.
Unburden.
Whatever load you can unburden from them, try to do that. If it's not too much for me, kung okay lang naman sa inyo, guys, hindi ka namin pinipilit. Now, here's another essential for me for couples who are not living together.
Yeah.
It's finding date ideas, even if it's online.
Oh, that's good.
And the thing is, there were so much posted on the internet many moons ago. Yeah, last year, nung season 1 pa lang tayo ng ECQ. Kasi originally, the post was not just for dating. It was actually about hanging out with your barkada. Like, what games could you play with your barkada online, ganon. Of course, we do understand that having good internet connection is a privilege. Having actually decent gadgets is a privilege, but if you do happen to have some way, ayun nga, find date ideas because there's so much. There's even like watching Netflix together. May ganung thing eh. Oo,
yeah.
diba? So, and then also a lot of online games. Just, you have to also try to do things together, but even when you're apart.
That's right.
Again, having a sense of normalcy, go out on dates, even if it's virtual.
Yeah, like for example, make your Wednesday night your date night, just like
yes.
Diba? Tayo.
Tayo.
Mga date nights, mga inuman. That works.
Or
That's
yun,
very
every
good.
Friday nga, makipaglaro kayo sa Easy Rock Game Day namin. Mga ganon.
Totoo.
Ganon, diba? So yeah,
Totoo.
there are a lot of options if you really want to try a lot of things out, if you really want to make an effort to be with your partner even virtually. Kasi although communication is great, maubos na rin talaga kayo na mapag-usapan. And
That's right.
it's gonna be routinary. Yun. It's gonna be routinary. You have to break that routine with something nice. Especially if hindi nyo pa kaya maging physical.
Ooh.
If you know what I mean. Holding hands, bakit ba?
Ang hirap. Ang hirap
1 meter
kayanin.
apart, guys.
True.
Anyway.
True. So
Ayun.
there's love and support, and like along with that is of course finding good ideas for a good date night. That works
And then the
too for
communication.
correct communication. So we talked about that communication, support, and like finding the right ideas for a date night, whether or not you're together. Diba? There's the internet. If you're privileged to have the internet, then all goods, right? Okay,
Good
let's go
job.
to the final one. The final essential for couples. Do you have something in mind?
Kaya mo na yan.
Sige. Naisip ko, okay, there we go. As you said, diba, everything can be routinary. Like, if you are together every day, there might be things that you would get, you just get tired of like watching your TV shows and other stuff. Set goals is very important. Set goals
I agree.
and push for them. Like whatever that is. Like if you can exercise together, if you can play cards together, play a video game together, cook together, all these stuff.
Learn new stuff together, mga
Learn new stuff
ganon.
together. That works. Yeah.
I read this one post of a couple who had so much plans for this year kasi nga we expected things to be better for this year. Ganun. And one of their kasi they were such travelers when they were single. They got married, they had kids, and then 2020 was supposed to be the year that they would go travel a lot. Ganon. Kaso hindi nga natuloy. So 2021 became their year to travel. Sabi nila pag summer, they're gonna use all the money that they saved. Go and travel this summer daw talaga. So summer na guys.
Wala pa rin.
Wala pa rin silang travel. But the thing is, nung before nag-ECQ, I'm actually one of the advocates for traveling and tourism pa rin, even if we're still in the situation, but always still be careful kasi a lot of people's livelihoods depend on tourism talaga. We live in the Philippines, and a lot of the livelihood of a lot of people are tourism nga. So we would like to support that rin sana. And it will also help you, mentally. You're gonna need that break. You're gonna need that break to enjoy nature at its finest, diba? So kung pwede na ulit, I think that would be one of the really, really good plans. But always be careful, no matter what you do. Whether you just want to meet your partner again, or you want to travel big time, or just go to the supermarket or whatever. At the end of it all, still always be careful and always think that you have the virus or everyone else has the virus.
Yeah.
Para lang naman sobrang praning ka. Mas okay na yung sobrang praning para safe tayo lahat, guys. Sorry, nag-PSA na ako. Sorry.
No, absolutely. That's how we should think, right? And now if it's impossible for us to travel wherever, kung ECQ man or kung hindi man payagan pa yung travel natin sa Pilipinas or outside, what we can do now is save money. Like save a lot of money, right? Not just to survive. Although again, it's difficult now. So if you can find a way to maybe diba, parang save together, diba? Kung makakahanap kayo ng racket together para makapag-travel kayo in the future, that can also work now.
Totoo. Diba? You could also start selling stuff online because as we all know, because of the pandemic, so many people have become entrepreneurs. They've become business-minded. They started to sell a lot of things online. Like, ano nga binibenta mo ulit, Nick?
Of course, my mom has a business.
Ayaw nga pala.
With the spreads, yung pamana. Wala akong katabi dito yung pamana
ano ba yan,
spreads.
Sayang? Sayang, gandang segue sana nun.
Maling-mali eh. Pero, all those stuff like bake,
yes.
cook, and try to sell this stuff. It would help you build your emergency fund if you haven't already.
Totoo. And also doing stuff together with your partner that's separate from the routine nga, like cleaning, taking care of the kids, or other physical stuff you do together with your partner at home dahil mag-asawa kayo, and that's also all very normal. So if you could do other stuff that's outside of the routine, play games, start cooking together, learning new stuff together, set goals together, like what Nick said, that would be really great for the both of you.
Yeah, which I mean the number three, that's very important because in a way, diba, it also touches on communication. Parang feeling ko yun yung magninit sa kanilang tatlo kasi you have to know what your partner wants. And I like what you said. I like what you said. Like you have to know how much you're willing to give. Diba, na feeling mo naman hindi ka naaabuso, and you have to know how much the partner or what the partner really wants then. So I think that's fantastic. I really, really think that's good. But do you think all of these things that we talked about, the essentials of their relationship at the time of the pandemic, are these things, do these things stop when the pandemic is over, or do you think these are essentials all throughout the relationship?
Imagine ko kasi I haven't it's been a while. I don't even know how it feels to be in a relationship and also to be outside of the pandemic situation. Parang ganun. Kasi for the past year, we've always adapted eh. Diba? So parang, paano nga ulit maging normal? Parang ganun. Like, do I think that those essentials are necessary even after the pandemic? Well, of course, communication still. Setting goals? Yeah, I think so naman.
Diba?
Oh, at siguro in a different scale lang yun.
Right.
And of course, all of these adjustments we're making right now is because of what situation we're in right now. And I'm sure once this pandemic is over, which I'm sure it will, the question is when, I'm sure that our goals and our what we intend to do with the relationship will also change by then rin. Mag-adapt rin tayo, guys.
That's true. That's true. Just don't lose track, diba, of everything, especially with the goals part. I believe, like, if the pandemic is over, if you get too busy, if you get too apart, diba? Parang mas mahirap pa nga ata, like, when you're able to travel na, mas marami ka na fulfill na goal. The goals part talaga, I believe, is important. Like, having a checklist and, those things.
And by the way, shout out nga pala sa mga couples who feel like they're in a long distance relationship is they haven't seen each other in a while, and that's a good thing because you are contributing you're helping rather slow down the spread of the pandemic, ganun. Kasi mas pinipili nyo ang betterment of the magtiis para sa ikinabubuti ng lahat.
Fasting and abstinence. Holy week edition pa ba to?
So yeah, I know it's really frustrating kasi there were even some couples who got together nung pandemic nga daw at hindi pa rin. I read a lot of threads on Reddit kasi, and yun nga nag-share couples, mga kwento pala na naging sila nung pandemic at di pa rin sila nagkikitang hanggang ngayon. Mga ganun. So I always wonder pag ganun. Like how do you not get bored? Parang ganun. But then again, I realized, I was also in a long distance relationship before at ganun nga rin naman talaga na
and you made it work.
You just Skype all the time. Skype pa nung panahon na yun. You just Skype all the time. Just chat lang. Tell them about your day and then cry on their virtual shoulder. Mga ganun. Pag may problema ka. Ganun lang. So, kudos to the guys who are still keeping it strong.
That's right.
Keep going. I'm so sorry. I cannot advise you to. I'm sure you'll find a day one day na pwede kayo magkita at you'll just love each other so much. You're gonna break each other's bones, mga ganun, no? I'm not gonna advise that.
Kaya nun, we're all looking forward to that. But for those of you who are single, then diba, unahin niyo muna yung magka-jowa. In the future. Ano sabi dito sa comment server, nakakasubok ng relationship ang pandemic? Yeah. In the same way that long distance relationships, even before the pandemic, was able to test relationships. So yeah, we are looking forward to hearing more from you. So just comment away. Maybe we can talk more about this if you want us to. Ano nga ba yung gusto kong sabihin? Meron ako gusto kong sabihin, nakalimutan ko.
Ano yung gusto kong sabihin?
Off-air ata yun eh. Pero yun. Oh, that one. Okay, sige, sabi mo na kanina, just think about it this way, that you have the virus, that everyone has the virus. So ganito, one way by which you can show your love to your partners, of course, by taking good care of yourself as much as you can. Diba? Sometimes we fail, but most of the time, diba, we make conscious decisions to take good care of ourselves. Para we can survive. Diba? We can survive until the day that we get to hug them physically, that we get to tell them how much we love them. Oh, okay, corny ko na. Pero, yun.
And as much as in normal circumstance, going to your partner pag may sakit siya or pag malungkot siya is a sign of love. Now, it's not, guys. So, mas pinapakita mo na mahal mo siya by staying at home instead and just virtually supporting them whatever they're going through. Kung may sakit sila or something, mas lalong dapat hindi mo siya puntahan. So, tiis-tiis lang pa rin, guys. And yeah, kaya nyo yan.
Yeah.
Buti nga kayo, may relationship kayo eh. Oy, may comment. Kapag nalagpasan nyo, magkarelasyon yung pandemic na to, sorry, nawala yung comment. Sorry, could you read it for me?
Sige, kapag nalagpasan yung magkarelasyon, yung pandemic na to, malayo mararating ng relasyon nyo.
I could imagine. Oo. I think this is such a huge test eh. So, sorry na lang for a lot of people na maaga pa lang sa relationship. Ang laki na ng test niyo. Sobrang long exam yun na, guys. Thesis levels na siya. But, totoo yan. I agree with you. Thank you for the comment.
All right. Thank you very much for joining us in today's coffee break. I really did enjoy this. Biglang nag-pop sa head ko yung mga ideas na, once it happens, to both of us or to us. Yeah.
To us? Kaya ba nagkaka-ratio pag gumaganyan ka siya ka na?
We know what to do. Yes, but of course, again, Shai, can you invite everybody watching for our shows and everything that they can look forward to?
Of course, starting off with our radio shows, that's number one on top of our list to tell you guys about. We have Samantha, who wakes you up in the morning at 6 a.m. for All Day Easy. And of course, Chloe with her not Chloe's Inbox, I'm sorry, with her... Here we go again. Bakit lagi natin nakakalimutan? Daily Dose.
Daily Dose.
Daily Dose. And then Nick with his Nick Pics, which I always love to read your comments, guys, by the way. Natutuwa ako pag nag-aaway kayo. Yung low-key competing with each other. Parang ganun.
Yeah.
And of course, I top off your day with the music of Light All Night. And also, we have our Facebook pages, our Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. It's Easy Rock Manila. Just go check it out. We also have our promos ongoing there. So for updates, just check out our social media accounts. Again, that's Easy Rock Manila.
All right, there you have it. Thank you very much once again. I am Nick, and of course, together with Shai, and this has been your coffee break. We'll see you guys very soon. Bye.
Bye.